You ever heard of a place called Clay's Drinking Billiards?
I can't say I have.
This place is in line for some hard judgment.
That's so.
It's fact. They've been taking their soiled doves when they swell up with child, and they got these tools. Look, there's this little foreign no-count son of a bitch running the place, and he's been killing those girls' babies.
This fella's really asking for it, isn't he?
That he is.
You want me to make an example of him?
I want you to make an example out of every goddamn son of a bitch in one of them. And when you're through, burn that place to the ground.
I knew God was putting me on a different path. He was pushing me to paint my masterpiece and get out.
You know, that's why I own a place like this. It makes me happy.
We're running out of time. I don't want any more babies slaughtered while you're painting daisies on the Dutchman's ass.
He's a very, very determined man. We need to find him.
So we're still going after Mr. Clay?
Don't you want to?
I understand the necessity of killing. I'm reasonable. We could work together.
The beauty of it all. Well, it made a feller want to work on his poetry and whatnot.
Looks like you're missing church tonight.
Yeah, I reckon.
Cowboy's Vengeance. Is it Cowboy Vengeance?
I think it's just Cowboy Vengeance. I don't remember. Yeah.
Plural.
Amazing.
Not plural at all.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece for those who haven't seen it. So we're going to be covering that today.
On Amazon Prime, people. I don't know for how long, but yeah, check it out.
That's the reason to get Amazon Prime, is for this movie alone.
There's a few really good bad movies on there.
Now, there was a name in there that I was like, oh man, I thought I recognized his name, something Van Helsing. And then it turns out the guy didn't do shit with his life. Hasn't done any movie. Just
happened to have that name.
Yeah. Oh god. Anyway, so where do we start? This movie opens up with an Indian talking about full circle, and this whole movie.
God's a circle.
Yeah, the movie's
everything.
Supposed to be about vengeance, and the title, Cowboy Vengeance. Not exactly what you get.
Yeah. No, instead you get this guy whose name is Print. And I didn't understand that for the longest time. I thought they just kept talking about print, like printing papers or printing pads. But no, his name's Print. And I guess he's like a bounty hunter / mercenary. And he kills. And he's really good at it. As you can tell in the first monologue of like 5 minutes. He's really good at it. Doesn't need to like really focus. And he has sex with a lot of people. So he's just the awesome guy. And he owns a barbershop.
Yeah, and he owns a barbershop.
1909.
This guy, and then somehow, not one person there has... Okay, not one. There's like 3 people in the whole movie who have dirty clothes, which is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, he's fucking sharp all day.
All day.
Never takes a shower, but he's sharp.
And he does bitch a lot about style. He wants style.
That's his phrase.
So, now the ring around his collar. The one dude he hangs out with is dirty as all fuck.
And that one is named Hank. And that guy is famous for killing Billy the Kid.
And,
while he was taking a piss.
And Pat Garrett, yeah, while Billy was taking a piss and everything. But he never took claim to that.
Yeah, he didn't like talking about it or nothing like that. And they both worked at this barbershop, but did the side jobs and mercenary bounty hunting shit on the side.
Yeah,
to stay manly. Oh, but they both went to church too.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole premise about this movie about church and God and sin.
It's like loosely, and then they go and do a bunch of like crazy shit.
They kill people all day. It turns out Okay, well, how's it? He's Christian. He loves church. He looks like Borat, people. That's actually in there.
Dude, sure could have got fucking what's his name, Borat to play.
Sacha Baron?
Sacha Baron Cohen. He could have got fucking Sasha to play his ass.
Yeah. So here goes. I wrote this up in my little notes. The first person he kills that we see in the beginning of the movie, he gets that guy naked, strips him down, and puts him inside of a cow's like hide, the whole hide.
Keep in mind, the crime was for butchering the cow.
No, for stealing it. For stealing it and adding another ring. He changed the brand from a P to a B.
Yeah. Now, here's a good question. What happened to the cattle meat? It was just left
Yeah,
there?
dude just either left it, he took it in too, but he turned in this cow body or cow hide with the naked dude inside.
Yep.
And everybody was okay with it. They knew automatically, oh, it must be print. That's actually what they say in the film. This is a movie at best. And then the next one, he kills two people, gets them naked and lays them together, holding each other. So there's that.
He made them look like a gay couple.
Yeah.
So everything that Print does, I mean...
And then they talk about one of them, but they never show up. They're like, did you hear about the other one he did? He cut their peckers off. I'm like, why? Why did he do that?
Yeah, and then he cut them off. Yeah, the other two is cutting his pecker.
All gay kills for being a good Christian.
Yeah, dude. That's some secret bullshit where they worship shit. Cows, fucking bestiality, chopping dude's peckers off, stuff in it. I don't know, dude. Crazy shit. Abortions. This movie's all over the place.
That's the I guess problem of the film. That's where the antagonist comes in. Who's a guy named Clay, who's
the soft premise for
who's a
the
square head.
The soft premise would be a cowboy hell bent on vengeance is gonna whatever for this town because this crazy German doctor performs
/ brothel owner.
Oh,
yeah. We find that out later. Like once we meet this guy named Clay, it turns out he does abortions. Like we learned that already.
Clay spelled with a K.
Yeah, spelled with a K because Germans are different, I guess. But it turns out once we meet him, it's because he owns a brothel. Any of his girls, and this is the way that he said it. I wrote it down. He performs these abortions to help the town by getting rid of the bastards because bastards, if you remember, are sins. None of the other things about their birth or anything have to do with sin. Just that they're gonna be bastards, so you gotta kill them.
Well, you know what they say about bastards? They just take up money. I think that's what his thing. He's like, I'm not going to let my horse raise.
Cost
bastards.
me, yeah.
Like,
they're not costing me any more than they already do.
Yeah. Dude,
So-
that would have been like an extra henchman for you.
Yeah, if he would have raised it, yeah. But then it turns out the guy Print and his buddy Hank used to work for the P that the original cow is stolen from, and I forget what his name was. Some with a P, but
On parcels.
yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's not that important. But turns out he used to get whores from this guy Clay. And on this one occasion, there was 3 of them because he gets them threes in his 3 because he's got that much money. And he decides to choke and beat him up. But he went too far with this girl named Dora, as in Dora the Explorer. And he just kills her in front of these other 2 whores. And so they know about it. So now he's going to...
Clay, no choking. Clay, no choking. Clay, no choking. Say it again. Clay, no choking.
She's like...
Very good. No, that didn't happen. But that would have been great.
And so that's where this whole thing comes up. So Mr. P, who hires Print and has him as a mercenary in the beginning, save him with the cows and all that, decides to tell him to kill Clay so the news doesn't get out. But then they all stumble across this when Clay's hired to train a new kid who goes by the name of, where is it at? Lee.
Oh, Lee.
Lee.
Zachariah. Way off.
Who is a trouble kid. He likes getting in fights and everything, but he needs to learn manners.
He's so crazy, he once dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, just to see if anybody would say anything.
Yeah, and if anybody said anything, he would fight him. Unluckily,
A woman.
a girl, some
said,
chick for she worked at some dude's place.
Yeah, that he knocked on the door of and talked. She's the first one to say something, so he went violent on her.
He's going door to door. That is psycho.
Yeah,
Hey, what do you think of me in this dress?
say something. Say something.
Yeah. No.
So he ends up falling in love with one of the girls at the brothel.
Whores.
Yeah, whores. Man, they got called something else too. But yeah, the whore. And then he ends up telling her the plan.
That started with the P too.
What?
Like whatever they called him.
Oh, that girl. Yeah, it was some weird name. Yeah, I never heard of it. So anyway, he fucks up. So when Print and this good kid named Lee go save everybody, it fucks up. Clay lives, and Lee gets shot in the face. every gunshot scene is literally.
He kept all his teeth though.
Yeah, he got shot in the cheek.
I'm just thinking that with guns back then, it should have blown off that whole side of his face.
Like, we're making this movie sound way better than it was.
right now, the whole time we're saying it, I think you guys
Like,
are probably
we just-
doing some cool epic shit.
Yeah, we just explained to you the whole first hour of the movie.
Yeah, and it's not by any means. It's not. There are any shootout scenes that there are, which you're lucky when you get a shootout scene.
The loudest parts of the film.
Yeah.
It just becomes
And
level
it's just ricochet after ricochet. It's like, are you guys
missed
surrounded
shots,
by
missed shots with shotguns, like at point blank range.
It's too much. It's
Yeah.
too much gunfire for like the 6 guns that are
A
there.
few practical gunshots, like on the arms in the beginning, like as if they're learning while they're making the movie, and then later on they're in the chest, the face. But then later on is full on CG, just CG shots.
I thought, where this movie really could have benefited, but it went wrong, was the kid who was working for Print. Which by the way,
Lee. Yeah.
Lee, yeah, and it's really horrible when he comes up to him and they introduce him. He's like, "Do you print?" Or he's like, "Are you,
Yeah.
you print?" That's what he said. You print, and it's like I assumed I didn't know that was his name because they didn't tell you his name. I assumed he was like, "Yeah, we print paper."
Yeah, like we do
copies.
print pass. We have a presser over here. Yeah.
we're the first Kinkos. Like, no.
We're a barbershop in a fucking hostile town. Of course we got print. The barbershop was the cleanest fucking like shop in this whole area or township or whatever.
Dumb shit.
Yeah, and both barbers are not good at their job. They admit that in the very beginning of the film. Like, that's my last barber job in forever. Turns out a week. Still not good at it. And these guys are mercenaries. It's like, why are you getting your haircut from these people?
I'm getting better. I know you are.
They have the nicest barbershop though from the outside.
And what does he mean by "we all know you're getting better"? I've seen 2 dudes with the haircut from that guy in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another one that me and Rich kept talking about. There's white denim in this movie. There's
Lee.
there's
Lee's
full on
sporting white
khakis.
denim the whole time.
There's khakis.
Khakis and fucking shit. There's
The only person dirty in the movie is every whore has smeared on her face, and then maybe Lee at the beginning, and then later on, I guess because he's being civilized by Print, he only has a scuff on his face now. But Print never has anything. Print looks like he just took a shower, just walked out, and this is after killing people, blood splattering everywhere.
creased his clothes and ironed them, and it looked like they're like, "Look, guys, we have 3 days to shoot this whole movie." So, and I mean this, if somehow you guys get tied down to a bed and you have to watch with your eyes open like Clockwork Orange, note that there's a whore in this movie, the finest whore that they have there, and she in every shot has the same smudges, exact same smudges, and this is like weeks apart. So you have to think she doesn't bathe
At all.
ever, and if she was their finest whore, they bring in these other whores. They're like, well, at
Cleaner.
least they bathe.
Yeah, they get bathed. They look normal.
Yeah, what the fuck? So that's a big pet peeve for me.
But what was
Clean that shit off your fucking face.
Yeah, well, what was funny about this whole movie was Prince, a Christian, I guess you would call it, 1909, I don't know. But he believes in God, talks about going to church a lot and meeting girls there. That was a big deal for him. Nice girls. Meet the nice girls at the church. And that's the reason why he initially goes after this guy, Clay. He hears stories around town from Lee and other people that there's a person out there that helps get rid of babies. They're gone afterwards. So it's abortions. Like, we don't see one. We hear about one. He gives this chick a bunch of morphine, I guess, and lets her go to sleep. So kill the baby. But, yeah, when Print finally meets this guy, asks him about it, and he throws a biblical thing back at him. It was like, yeah, I'm getting rid of all this sin. If you haven't read the Bible, once you cleanse the world of all sin, it'll be good. And he's all, but the world we live in doesn't have that. Yeah. He does this whole weird little speech.
He's like doing this whole, like, he's interpreting the Bible in his own way.
Twisted way, yeah. It works for him.
He's like telling his son, who doesn't even sound like a bit German at all. He's like, yes, Paul.
Yeah, he's American as hell.
To me very carefully.
Yeah, he's like a little altar boy. He has a little long hair. Has a rosary around his arms all the time. Can never do anything. Oh, there's a black guy. So that's why Clay originally, when you first meet him, you're like, he's not that bad of a guy. He's hiring blacks. Because even Print mentions that. He's like, oh, it turns out you what is it? Your dark friend over here probably needs an arm.
Awfully nice of you to hire the Nubian fella.
Yeah. Oh, it's adorable. I was laughing. And this is a good guy. The good guy's a racist. So
I guess you can call me what they call a progressive. You're not a progressive.
he is now. Modern progressive is pretty fucked when it comes to race too. They take advantage of that shit.
Remember when the Onion used to do like
funny articles? Now you can't do that anymore.
The Onion has pretty much gone bankrupt because all their articles have come to fruition. They're real life now, guys. So anyway, that I'm only doing that as a segue into the whole abortion thing. How now we're like you can abort your child.
Virginia people
at birth.
Yeah.
No, Virginia didn't pass it. in New York.
No, but they wanted to. Yeah.
Still gotta try next time.
This is the same state that me and Rich were laughing about this earlier. Nobody cared about that bill trying to be passed, but they did care when all of a sudden a blackface photo came out of him in college having fun.
Yep. He's like, no, I could probably still do the
that moonwalk. And then his attorney, his wife, yeah.
She looked at him. She's like,
don't
you fucking do it.
He's all up. Never mind.
Did you see mainstream media playing that over and over? No, but that would be great. Anyway, yeah. So that's the whole. That's where we've gone from 1909 to now, you guys.
Yeah, this guy has the same outlook on it. He's just like.
Turns out the German guy
getting rid of the scene.
This movie would be protected under the 2019 New York.
He'd be a progressive ass fucking doctor back in those days. Even now, he'd be like, "Oh, he's awesome."
The libs would be praising his ass.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways. Yeah, so this fucking...
And what was it called? It was called a curse. It wasn't called a period. Yeah, they said I'm a moon past my curse, or I haven't had my curse in a while. I'm like, did people say that? Like, I've watched Deadwood, which is an amazing show. If you haven't watched it, you guys should. But yeah, I'd never heard of the curse.
I'm thinking these guys snuck on to the set of Deadwood.
And use some of the extra stuff.
Hey, Oliphant's gone.
There's a few horses in there, and whenever you see a horse, pay attention because the actor riding it, you could tell that he's never ridden it. They're always like, whoa, 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 whoa.
There you go. Get the shot. I don't care.
They wrap him around the little pole, like different. It's a funny movie.
Speaking of poles, so while me and some guy are watching this movie, we notice that the poles throughout the movie are not actual poles like they would be back in the day.
Which is just a rounded wood.
Yeah, rounded wood. No, they have nice like 4x4 ones.
Yeah,
like, that you
with grooves, sanded out perfectly and shit. Oh, it's the best.
Go to Lowe's, you'll find the entire set of Cowboy Revenge.
The very beginning of the film, like the opening is brilliant. You can tell it's all green screen. The clouds are like this weird. It seems more like smoke than clouds.
The cowboy's standing there, like you can tell he's trying to move. And they're like, "Don't move, asshole! Don't."
Oh, there's a still shot.
Yeah, the still shot. He's all trying to look sad, like a sad cowboy.
Yeah, is that every cowboy? The dirtiest thing on him's their hat. Maybe.
Print. Everything he's got is brand.
Yeah, Print was fucking high sharp dollar right there, man. He dressed better than his bosses who paid him, which is the best.
His buddy, the guy who's supposedly
Hank,
taught him everything.
Yeah.
He's like everything he's wearing looks like someone just took a piss on it.
Yeah, he looks filthy all the time.
Like,
and he's the drunk. He's a town drunk, I guess, because he talks about that all the time.
So this is Print. Like, you look sharp, all about style. You murder people. Meanwhile,
he killed Billy the Kid while he's pissing.
Damn right. That's fucking dirt. Right in the back?
Yeah, we call fucking the guy that killed Home Dude. They made that movie with Brad Pitt. Where he shoots him in the back in his house.
Oh, Robert Ford.
There we go, Robert Ford. Yeah, so we'd rag on Robert Ford, calling him a fucking piece of shit coward and stuff. The cowardice. If you haven't seen that film, it's really good. But yeah, we talk about that. This motherfucker.
I forget the way you call it, but
Robert Ford. Yeah, Bob. Yeah. But yeah, this guy shoots him from a distance out in the dirt while he's holding to his horse to take a piss. Shoots him in the back. But Hank ends up killing Mr. P. As we keep forgetting his name, but yeah, from the beginning, the one where this all started with the cow, he ends up killing that guy, and he tells him, which is probably one of the best scenes in the whole movie, actually, acting wise. two people just sitting in a room, and there's this Hispanic guy in the room that's supposed to be like, I guess, the deadpan. He's told to play a song, my favorite song.
He was my favorite part of that whole movie.
That was really, really nice. It was like about a minute long. When you guys get there, you'll understand it. We're talking about Hank and Mr. P having this conversation where Mr. P realizes, hey, you're here to kill me, aren't you? Yep. And they both have guns drawn. And
that's the only time like they sit down, they have this conversation. He's like, why do you hate me? He's like, they explain why they hate each other.
Yeah, he mentions Dora the Explorer, and he's like, who?
Yep.
The guy that killed him is like, who are we talking about?
I knew you would kill Dora the Explorer.
And he's like, what?
Oh, man, that's why I'm going to get killed.
He's all for a whore.
And then they go at it, but keep in mind, the guy playing guitar keeps his composure.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
He plays, gets paused for 1 second when they talk about killing each other, and then the guy goes, tell you to stop, and he just goes back to play, like, oh yeah, I forgot what I'm doing here.
Pretty incredible movie, actually, for as bad as it was. I mean, the guy playing Borat or Print,
yeah,
completely twitchy. Too twitchy for my liking. I'm thinking that maybe
he's a theater actor, yeah, we gotta look that guy up.
Yeah, because he was all over the place. His eyes were all over his fucking head. He couldn't stop like moving his eyes from side to side. So either he's playing a really good psycho,
or he helped write it or something. Yeah, he's on this.
He said those lines like as if you're reading out of one of these books.
Yeah, it just came straight through.
Boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. No feeling, no emotion, no love.
And whenever anybody else tried to play off of him, he didn't give a fuck. He just kept reading. He didn't care. Yeah. He just read his lines.
Shits. He's like, oh well, there it goes. I think the beginning went. Okay, so
yeah, there's this whole Indian that it pops up at the end too, but there's no real connection. Yeah, there's no connection to it.
For this Native American Indian dude.
Who at the beginning of the film is telling him like a moral lesson, and then it jokingly quits before the credits start rolling. Yeah. Print goes, I don't believe that shit. Okay.
Exactly. Like here's a quick thing for anybody if you're aspiring to make a good film. If you got someone who's bad at dialogue, it's not a bad idea to get someone who doesn't speak your language to narrate for you. So maybe I would have got the dude Native American or someone else who spoke the actual tongue to come in because no one would have been able to decipher. They were using still shots of the Indian, right?
Yeah.
So you could have had someone actual Navajo or something Apache say something that would have seemed like, hey, this is
important. Like what's
and they could have narrated at the beginning, and we could have just had subtitles, and then you could have had the cowboy guy go, well, I don't know anything about that, but here's my life.
Yeah,
as that cuts into his shit.
Here's what I got out of it, but not at all. And at the very end, it cuts back to this shaman. Yep. I guess is credited, and there's no into it. It's just okay. Oh, and then even funnier after Print kills Clay because he goes back. So his friend Hank kills Mr. P. Like I said, we keep forgetting his name, and that's done. So Hank gets the ranch or whatever. Print and the kid Lee go and kill Clay and everybody. Lee, that's where Lee gets shot in the face, and I thought he died. The movie makes it look like he gets shot in the eye, but he gets shot in the face. The whore goes with him, and the one that he told the girl to, and he told everything to, because he loved her. And now Print's the fucking pimp. He has a brothel and he's telling the girls things are going to change here. Yep. And then the girl, I forget her name, the one that knew everything and kind of was working both sides, ends up telling Print.
Oh, number one.
yeah. It's been more than a moon since my last curse, maybe 2. And he tells the other girls, the other whores, he's like, get out of the room, man. Like, he becomes a pimp. He's full on owner and he just deals with it. So I guess that's his new life. His new life is.
What's the matter, Abigail? Or whatever her name is. He's like, what's wrong? He's
like, after we did all this for you, what now?
Yeah. What is it? She's like, I just need a wipey. My face is filthy.
She's like, you think you're with child? She's like, no, I'm just fucking telling you everything about children right now.
Not to mention, he's like, things are gonna be different around here. He tells the other women, get back to work.
Yeah, immediately after he's like, hey, get back to work.
So what are you gonna do, dude? Are you gonna
what differently is gonna happen?
These kids that now you're like, get back to work. Now you're a brothel owner. So you're not gonna abort these kids, right? So okay,
Cowboy Vengeance.
Yeah, Cowboy Vengeance is actually cowboy raising other cowboys' kids, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. It's like
because he explained to Lee at one point when Lee came in doing what any modern day person would say now, where he's like, "Hey, she's more than that." Print literally looks at him, laughs, and goes, "She's a whore. What are you talking about? She's a whore."
Yeah, fancy men have come and promised her a bunch of other things.
Yeah, he mentioned San Francisco and Oregon because those are equal. Oregon as a whole state is equal to San Francisco.
back then wouldn't have been.
Back then, I don't know. Like Oregon probably was a shithole back then. It was just like, wow, it's beautiful to look at. There's a lot of trees.
Man.
There's a lot of trees. This is pre-civilization in towns. So, well, no, towns are around, but not cities.
Pre 2019.
1909. Yeah.
To take a walk before you step on.
Right. You know how many people promise her Frisco Gold Rush?
Oh man, you promised a whore to go to San Francisco. Now she'll laugh in your face.
She's like, I don't want to go there. I'm fine.
She's like, I can step in a piece of shit here in San Francisco.
She's like, do I look gay to you?
You guys, all I'm saying is that if you have nothing to do at all, why are you even listening to us? You should be watching Cowboy Revenge.
Cowboy Vengeance.
What I say?
Revenge.
I think that's gonna be part 2.
Part 2. It'll be Lee going after Print, and Hank comes back out of nowhere.
It'll be a bastard baby son.
Oh shit!
Of the guy, he'd be like, my mama told me. To my papa."
Instead of Print, his son will be named Media.
Well, I had to give me my mom's
Or
maiden
Digital.
name
Be
because I'm a
Digital.
bastard.
What do you go by, boy? Digital. What's
Digital media.
What's that mean? My dad was ahead of his time.
Can't afford a horse, so he, of course, takes a donkey everywhere. Jackass. This Cowboy Vengeance. This is the name, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
God damn this movie. So even I don't know if I'm jumping too far ahead here, but this guy has a real. We need to talk a little bit about that, but this guy has a sick knack for doing things. So the main. Like, okay, there's in most movies come to a head, a big climactic scene, right?
Yeah,
Not in this. He just he kills the bad guy. He kind of
yeah.
sneaks up
And then
on
it continued
and it continued.
for no reason.
And they just kept firing, and then the gunshot sounds didn't stop.
Yeah, he killed like this guy's whole henchman group and everything. It turned into like an A-Team movie out of nowhere.
It was like super politically correct too. Like when he comes into this establishment, this is like early 1900s. He goes, how do you do? This is to the black guy, keep in mind, right? He goes, how do you do? Do you own this establishment?
And the black guy literally answers him like you would expect. He's like, what? No?
No, hell no. That's him, the German fucking dude sitting over there, the other German white guy.
He's all the one with the chair. Everybody else is standing.
One surrounded by whores. Oh, my bad, thank you. He didn't say that, though. He should have. I mean, if you're going to go that far, you should have just said, my bad, the black guy, right? You're going to fucking be all SJW.
Yeah, they come up with so many weird. What was the one that he said about like a cowboy and a fried shop or something like? He said something so stupid. They're just making shit up, ad-libbing
I
at one point.
love that Southern fried talk.
There we go, Southern fried talk you got there.
Southern fried hospitality. That was it. Wait a minute. Was that even a saying in 1909?
Did people fry food?
Yeah.
They heated up oil and dunked stuff into it in 1909.
I bet that wasn't even like a thing until like the 60s.
They didn't have electricity. They didn't have anything to heat it. I'm just gonna put it in boiling water. That's not the same as fried.
I'm just saying, look, guys, probably 50, 55 years later that became like a saying. Look it up. Probably in John's bathroom readers.
Southern fried hospitality. I love that.
Uncle John's bathroom readers.
Oh, those are awesome.
Yeah, you'll probably find colloquialisms and you'll find Southern fried in there somewhere.
Old school slang 101.
Fucking hit me with that 1909. I love your Southern fried talk. Do you also like my Southern fried chicken?
Oh, then you're gonna love to smell my balls and dick because it smells horribly southern. It's all humid. It's all humid. It's a yeast infection. Like these people have been riding in the dirt for days to get anywhere. Oh, you're gonna love this humidity. It's warm. Put your hands in there. Keep you nice.
Now, this movie. Who's his side guy is this guy Lee, who we discussed.
Yeah, who's supposed to be training.
They show you at the beginning he's like a crack shot, right?
Who's the kid?
Doesn't pay off either because when it comes to a shooting, he doesn't hit one motherfucker.
Yeah, at all.
Shot at all.
He can kill a bottle and punk out people while wearing a dress, but he can't shoot a fucking shot. It's somebody running right at him.
God, dude.
And every time he's ahead, he's the one sneaking up on them. He's hidden underneath some like dirt near a rock. Nobody sees him, and
burlap. I didn't even know burlap was like that. Dude.
he never had a free good shot. He was always running, shooting.
Yeah, no shit. And he gets the one time in the movie he gets a crack shot. It's after he's been shot.
But no, go backwards. Even before that, at one point, he's literally playing like a fucking pickle between two people shooting at him while he's running in the middle between the building.
Yeah,
he's running between a building that have three people shooting at him and two more people on the other side of the dirt, and he's running back and forth. Yet he's clearing, shooting straight at waist level. At waist level, he's shooting. He's hitting people up on top of the buildings behind.
I want to say that he killed more people than the other.
Than Print did. Yeah, Print had a good game, and he's sick when it comes to killing people because he teaches them a lesson by doing gay shit. But besides that. Yeah, Lee murderly killed people while fleeing other shots. But yeah, it was like an A-Team TV show or something where everybody just kept shooting. Worse than a Jedi movie, worse than the, what are they called? The troopers? Stormtroopers where they always miss. It was worse than that. They're just all over the place. It was.
I want to say, what was the moral? What did you get out of it? What did you think is the moral to the story here?
That pure Christians can beat up or foreign Christians. Like, my interpretation of the Bible is better than yours. Yeah, I'm killing you because of abortion, but I'm going to be a brothel owner after.
Yeah, and they're all into wars and drinking and murder.
I'm going to do it differently, though.
Excluding the main things the Ten Commandments tell you not to do, you can go ahead doing the rest. And I'm not sure, like, this movie...
And if you think about it, in the movie's time sense, this guy Print and his buddy Hank were just barber owners up until this kid Lee came in, which Mr. P gave him to be like, hey man, train him to be like you. And he's like, all right, whatever. Yeah. And that's what started this whole adventure.
I could be wrong here.
He took him to this guy Clay to have sex so he could find out and meet him. Oh, yeah, and then he ends up killing everybody. Oh, but it turns out he didn't kill everybody. Remember, the black guy was still alive. Like, we thought he killed everybody. And that's why Clay hired him.
Straight in the heart.
Yeah, straight in the fucking heart. Next time you see him, like 30 minutes later, I guess it was the arm. It turns out, even though you saw his chest blow out.
Yep. He's like, your Nubian friend's sick. He's like, oh.
He needs an infirmary. Yeah, you're dark, buddy. Here.
Yeah. And you got to think, this is the abortionist, so he runs the infirmary.
Yeah, he's a doctor, according to everybody in the beginning. But then we find out, once we meet him, that he's just a brothel owner that knows basic stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knows how to do abortion, so he hooks up.
Read a book.
So he hooks up. Yeah, he hooks up the chicks there and other people around, I guess, with abortions. So Cowboy Vengeance. Let's see what else is there to say. The song. The song at the end.
The ending song was pretty bad. It was
a cowboyish ripoff of Poison's. Yeah.
What was that? Every Rose Has a Thorn?
Yeah, it had that time tempo to it.
Every rose has a thorn. Like that.
But what's even funnier was the song starts off with that, like, melody of like, I'm just a cowboy in the road. And then out of nowhere, the guy just gets worse and decides to freestyle and just break, timing and stuff and goes, I kill because I'm good at it. Yeah, that's what.
The guitar stops. The song, he starts talking. He's like, you know what I mean? When you're out there all alone. Like, wait. I fucking hired you to sing a song, you piece of shit. You're not going to fucking just stop and start talking.
Right over it.
Right over the fucking melody. I guess.
And they start over. Like, it kind of reminded me of that awesome scene, like you were saying, where Hank and Mr. P are having a conversation. That guy that he calls to play the guitar, he's just like, keep playing. And they're just having this random conversation to like this really beautiful melody. this guy's Spanish picking a guitar and shit. It's really, really good. But yeah, it's so subtle.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that guy. He didn't
have might have been.
He didn't have a talking line, that Mexican dude.
Might have been his song.
Real quick. Great scene in there. Could have been Raoul and Chuck, but it wasn't. Instead, he got these two randos that clearly look out of place. He dressed them up. It was his two Mexican buddies.
Oh, that was awesome.
They're wearing brand new suits, never worn.
Super fat little round dudes.
You could tell they didn't have the budget for clothing at all.
They just got the two most Mexican people they could find. One of them has extremely curly hair and then a decent mustache, I guess. And the other one just has a cool little goatee and stuff. But
they took a shower before they did this film.
They have sombrero type cowboy hats. And yeah, it's just two little Mexican guys out in the sun that get shot.
He's like, whatever the narration was, he's like, and then they were lined up perfectly.
Yeah, I got him with one gun. This is Lee when you're finding out about Lee being a cross-dresser to piss people off. The other cool thing he did was he shot off, killed two people with one bullet because they were lined up perfect.
Oh man, that movie is just pure dog shit. You guys go ahead and view this for my entertainment, just because I think no one should suffer alone. Misery does love company. That's a fact. And I do want other people to see this movie just because other people put their hard work into this, their time and effort. And I don't think we should be the only two people
Yeah.
in America who watch this movie.
And technically, it's a pro-Christian movie, so there you go, people.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of cuss words, but
If you're
they're the
anti-abortion-
sinners. They're the sinners. Yeah.
The abortion, this is
This movie's for you.
If you're pro-murder, it's right up your alley. If you're pro-whore, it's up your alley. If you're pro-bad music, this is the same alley.
Yeah, you have to wait, but it's gonna get there.
This alley is the same alley for all those things. So, yeah.
Fan of those? You found the flick to watch. Drop an hour plus on this one.
That's all I'm saying. Buckle up, buckers. It's gonna be bumpy. Yeah, Cowboy Vengeance, guys. Please, I encourage you to see this.
As a Christian, you have to watch.
Yeah. Other than that, this is Dick Sassy saying, watch a lot of bad things.
Yeah, and every so often you'll find a good surprise little nugget, out of the coal, and you get that little diamond.
Yep.
This was one of them. It was worth talking about. It was funny.
All right, guys. That's some guy. Anything else to close with?
I'm pretty sure I'm glad I watched that instead of the 100 degrees below. But hey, put some comments down at the bottom if you guys saw that 100 below, and it's way better. It might be a Sharknado.
And it's cold as hell because we didn't know by the title 100 below. All right, guys.
Amazon Prime, people. There's a lot of stuff on there. It's actually got more movies than Netflix somehow. It's crazy.
It is.
HBO, a lot of free old school stuff on there.
A lot of people utilize these things, man.
They pay for it too. It's crazy. Amazon Prime, people. It's not just music and shipping for 2 days.
And Jeff Bezos is not paying us to say that.
Yeah, I know.
Right, Jeff?
Right? He ain't sending me any more dick pics.
Yeah. Ever since,
Yeah.
Anyways, he does look better bald instead of that shit he had in his head before years ago when he had the executive cut. It's all besides the point, guys. Yeah. Until next time, this is Sassy and
SG signing off. Yeah, thanks again.
thank you for listening.